Hello guys, welcome to CS Tech Solution. Today's is learning SQL, and today's is learn as a SQL database. SQL database is a collection of as a organize the data to store in the tables, and SQL is used to create, manage, and as a retrieve the data from the database. And the examples of SQL databases like MySQL as a Microsoft SQL Server, as a Oracle database, as a PostgreSQL, as a SQLite, and a database is constant as a tables is store the data, and one example to as to gives as a student database has to create, and the one tables has to show to store the data, and as a row is an individual record as to show, like one rows to show as one individual records, and id is first, and the names is rahul's, and as rahul course as study in the bca, and as a colons is a data field, and specific types of datas in the show in a one field, as a id is a numbers datas to show, and names is a string datas, and as a course as also as a string datas to show. Second is a create a database, as a used to create a new database, as a syntax is a create a database, and after as a database name to write, and as a semicolon, and all the queries as complete after the semicolons is required. And examples as a create a database, and the database names is a college db, and after as a semicolon, and as a give the message as use the database, so as write a queries as use, and the database name is a college db, and as a semicolon to use a selected database. And as a third is drop a database, and use to permanently delete the database, and the syntax is drop database and the database name, and after the semicolon, and the examples as a drop database and the database name is a college db and the semicolon, and all the tables and as a data inside a database will be as deleted. And fourth is backups of a database, as a backup the is create a copy to the database datas, and the mysql's examples as mysql dump, and hyphen u, and root, and hyphen p, and college dbs, and the greater than sign as a backup.sql, and as a restore the backups, and mysqls and hyphen u, and root as a hyphen the p, and college db, and less than, and as a backup.sql has to write, and sql server examples, and so as a write a backup database, and the database names is a college db, and two a disk equals, and single quotes inside a path has to show the d d drives, and colons, and the backslash, and the backups, and backslash, and as database names as a college db dot bak, and single quotes overs, and after as a semicolon. Fifth is a create a tables, as used to create a tables, and the syntax is create table names, and counts inside as column 1, and the data types, and commas, and the column 2, and the data types, and last as counts overs and the semicolon. And examples is a create a table, as a table name is a students, and counts inside as a column names is a student id, and the data types is int, and commas as the names is varchars, and counts as the 15 words as to allow, and commas, and the age is int, and the cities is the varchars, and counts varchar means as a strings, and as counts inside the numbers has to gives as the numbers has to allow as a 15 numbers to allow, and counts overs and semicolons, and the tables is create as student id, names, age, and the city. 6 is a drop the table as delete the table as permanently as so as use drop tables and the table name and semicolons. And seventh is alter as tables as you used to modify the existing tables. First is add the columns in the table so as alter, and as a table alter tables and the table names, and as a add, and as any columns names has to show, and as a data types has to give as any new columns names as emails, and as a data types is varchars, and the numbers of the words has to gives as 100, and counts close and the semicolon. As a remove the colons as a alter tables names, and as a remove the colon so as keyword is used as a dropped colon, and as a colons names has to write, and semicolons, and rename the tables so as alter tables and the table names, and as a rename to as another new names has to write, and as a semicolon. Thank you guys to watch the videos. Please subscribe the channel, on the notification and bell icon.